Our story begins 2,000 years ago when baby Jesus came into the world.
Wait, stop. If it's not about a king, then I'm not interested.
This story is about the King of Kings.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation, and our Paws on Angels podcast, our very first one.
Yes, and this time we're covering the animated film from Angel Studios, The King of Kings.
Yes, this actually was released in December of 2025, and it's not to be confused with the live-action version or the 1927 version.
Right.
This is the animated tale that shows Charles Dickens telling his son the story of Jesus Christ from his birth to assembling the apostles and to his death and resurrection, showing how his story is the greatest ever told. And we thought this is perfect regardless of when this movie was released.
Right.
Especially, this is the week of Passover and Easter, so we're releasing it now. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and World of Paws videos.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us today. Subscribing, sharing videos, commenting. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we wanted to do this because it actually takes place Christmas time.
Yes.
And we thought, wow, that's an odd time to have a story about the King of Kings. But once you watch the movie and how it unfolds, it makes sense, and it's actually a brilliant idea.
Right. And plus, it's Charles Dickens. You know, he wrote A Christmas Carol, so I think they thought that would also tie into it, because he's telling the Christmas Carol in the beginning, too.
Yes. So for those of you not familiar with this, as I wasn't, and Rascal was a little, Kings of Kings is a 2025 animated Christian film written and directed by Song Ho-young, loosely inspired by the children's book The Life of Our Lord by Charles Dickens.
Oh!
Now the film stars a very, very high-end cast we'll get to later. It was produced by Song Ho-young and Woo Hyung Kim. Cinematography by Woo Hyung Kim as well, and edited by Song Ho-young.
Really?
With music by them as well. So this really was a labor of love for them. Now it's distributed by Angel Studios, who we were not familiar with at the time as well. We'll tell you a little more about them. And the film runs 104 minutes. It had a budget of $25 million and earned over $77 million at the box office.
Awesome. And as you can see, yet again, it did not take 100 or 200 million to make the film. And despite that, they use the money wisely because the animation looks fantastic.
Yes.
It doesn't look cheap. It doesn't have a bunch of animation errors. It doesn't look like someone's stiff or they didn't try. They put, looks like, every dollar into either the animation or getting the voice cast.
Yes, and as you said, it was well spent. You really end up liking the characters. When it first starts off, you're not sure where it's going with the story. But then once it does get into it, and you see how it's like Storybook, if you've ever seen that, where Walter, the son, is transported along with the dad into the time of Jesus Christ. And they actually go back and forth from the present into the past, into the present. But it's done really well. Very, very well.
It's like his storytelling was so immersive that you could just be there in an instant, so you're kind of watching and listening along with the son as well, with the viewer. And it's not a really long movie. It's not something that goes on for 2 hours. It's maybe 90 minutes or less. So it's a good amount of time where it has a beginning, middle, and end, and they're not throwing anything new in, because we've seen some adaptations of the events be changed or altered for modern day, adding people that they think would fit better for the times, or take out things they think would be too much to show on screen. The most they do is that they censor the lashiness towards the end. Like, you hear it, but you don't see it. And perhaps for little kids watching, they thought maybe that was too much, but hearing it would just be enough, and you weren't seeing a ton of blood or anything within the movie. It just got the point across.
Two very interesting things. As we mentioned, this is based on The Life of Our Lord, written by Charles Dickens. Now, he wrote it actually for his children. Between 1846 and 1849, about the same time he was writing David Copperfield, which I haven't read.
Really?
And they didn't publish that until the Life of Our Lord until 64 years after he died.
Wow. Never even knew that.
So you don't know if this is something he wanted published, or was it really just meant to be a gift to his children?
Right.
But someone saw the value in it and how it would be entertaining and probably profitable, and went ahead and did it.
Right.
So we were telling you about Angel Studios, whom we weren't familiar with before this film. We know that they were involved with The Chosen, and that's all that we knew of them.
Right.
They founded the studio in March of 2021. It's located in Provo, Utah. And they specialize in film production, film distribution, television production, television distribution, video on demand. You can find their site at angel.com. What's really interesting about this studio is that they make movies and series for all different types of genres and ages. And their goal is to give you entertainment that is not like the entertainment you get at the theaters. So it's not all Christian based.
Right.
They have all different types of categories, but they do have a particular section for children and a section for Christian based. And sometimes they intersect, like with this movie.
Right.
And their format is that they get movie theaters around the country to air the films that they produce, and they guarantee a certain number of tickets will be sold. So you go to the site if you want to see the movie, then you go there and you buy tickets, and then they tell you the goal, like 350,000 or whatever the goal may be, and then when they sell out the tickets, they've reached the goal. The theater airs the film, which is actually brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It's not trying to pressure the person into, well, you got to get this ticket or else we won't make it or something like that.
Now, as you can tell, they have quite a few of their movies on DVD, like The King of Kings. You can also watch some series for free on the website, but you do have to be a member to access all of their content. We aren't, but again, it's a brilliant strategy and a way for people to vote on what they want to see and how they want the movie to be, and they know that things that are in conventional movies aren't going to be them. They even have movies about war, the Wild West, so many different genres,
political dramas,
but they make sure that it stays within a certain, I guess, guidelines that they have for their movies. If you're familiar with Angel Studios, and or you have one of the memberships, I should say, let us know in the comments and if you really like it. So we want to state that from what we understand, they're Mormon, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and regardless of what your preference of faith is, this is a great movie. They did a fantastic job, and we're not Mormon, but this is a great movie. They did a really good job. The only difference is that some of the biblical quotes, you can tell are not from the King James Version. They slightly changed.
And some newer version.
Right, and so that may be one of the things you might have a concern with. But we just watched it for what it was, and we really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned, it starts off with Charles Dickens trying to recite A Christmas Carol to a London theater audience, but Walter keeps interrupting him and being impatient.
Right. And they have, of course, they have the animal sidekick, because that's just a part of cinema now.
Yeah.
Coming messing things up too. It's a really big cat, and he does mess up a little bit, but it's nothing that just tears on the whole theater. Like to the extent you see in some movies, everything crashes down, but he does kind of mess up because he's not listening.
Right.
But I do like that they don't make Charles Dickens out to be different from how you perceive him from his story.
Yes.
He's understanding, but he can be impatient. He's not perfect, and he's not bumbling. He's not falling over himself. He's not, well, the wife's got to take over and do whatever.
Right.
They don't have any of those tropes in here. He is telling the story. He is
and
still
she's
the lead
actually
in
the
it.
one who suggests to him
Right.
that he tells Walter a story, and he tells Walter, look, if you find it boring, then we can stop.
Right. And that's how the story itself gets going, and making it actually interesting and exciting, because we've seen adaptations that sort of change what happens to make it more digestible for people, because most people kind of want biblical based films like Prince of Egypt, where it doesn't have everything that happens in the chapters or in the Bible, but they do enough theatrics and excitement to where they don't mind because it's such a good story. King of Kings at least tries to attempt to make it exciting while still keeping close to the original story and to the events a majority of the time.
This is
Except for
more
some
like
lines.
Joseph.
Yeah, it was called Joseph, King of Dreams.
Yes, it was also made by DreamWorks. And it's more in line with that, if you're wondering.
Right.
So, by the end, his son becomes so emotionally involved that he's actually experiencing, imagine himself experiencing the events, and the dad ends up with him because they both have such vivid imaginations and both become emotionally involved in the story. So it goes all the way through the events of what happens until Jesus is resurrected. And yes, there are some Bible quotes during the movie as well. But really, it's very interesting. It's an interesting idea. And it's amazing that Charles Dickens did this and people had no idea and didn't know.
Yeah.
And still now we don't. If it weren't for this movie, we'd have no idea.
Right. And if you're concerned about being too preachy or hitting you over the head,
at all.
none of that happens. They don't try to shove it in your face or try to attempt to do something to the viewer like most people perceive a lot of these faith-based films. It's just literally as is, telling you the story and the events, and for your enjoyment, and hope that you at least gain something by the end.
Now let's tell you quickly about this fantastic cast. Kenneth Branagh is Charles Dickens, and he does a fantastic job.
Yes.
He's also credited as the voice of Scrooge, Joseph, John the Baptist, and God.
So multiple voices.
Yes. Uma Thurman is Catherine Dickens, and she's also credited as the voice of Mother Mary and the angel as well.
Okay.
Mark Hamill is King Herod. Yes, Mark
That's
Hamill.
funny. Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan is Pontius Pilate. Roman Griffin Davis is Walter Dickens. And this kid was fantastic. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
very.
You just absolutely love hearing him. He's still a kid because I think he just turned 18.
Yeah.
But he sounded much younger.
Yeah, I sure did. At least it is a kid.
Yes. Forrest Whitaker as Peter. Ben Kingsley as High Priest Caiaphas. Oscar Isaac as Jesus Christ and Satan. Ava Songer as Mary Dickens. D. Bradley Baker as Willow the Cat.
Ah, he finally got a voice role again.
James Arnold Taylor as Melchior, Matthew Philip Thomas, Young Jesus, and Herod Scribe.
He did quite a bit.
Yeah. Jim Cummings as Pharisee Halil, Demas, James the Greater. Jamie Thomason as Andrew, Simon, John, Judas Iscariot, and the Possessed Man. Fred Tatasciore as Pharisee Eleazar. Vanessa Marshall as Mary of Bethany. Mick Wingard as Gasper and Pharisee Mahalia. Imari Williams as Baltazar and Bartholomew. Frank Totoro as Gestas and Millicent Marianu as Martha. Now what they did here that I absolutely love is that I've always said to you, why don't they have people do multiple voices? Pay them to do multiple voices when they have range. And this is what they did.
Yeah.
And you can't tell it's the same people.
Right.
And everyone should take a clue from this in anime, in Western animation, whatever, because it's more cost effective, and you know you've got the talent there that can live up to what you want to convey.
Right.
It should be done more.
Yes, absolutely. And you really do miss that. And they claim it's more efficient to get different people to get more jobs, but half the time they don't have training, and you can tell the difference between the professionals and the ones who have not practiced enough yet. So I prefer the one person doing multiple voices route myself.
Yeah, definitely.
And it worked for this movie because you weren't sitting there thinking, oh, this is just say Jim Cummings or something. When you're watching the movie and it takes you out, like all you hear is the celebrity or the celebrity voice and not the character. You were hearing the character the whole time.
Definitely. So quickly, it grossed over $60 million in the U.S. and Canada, and almost 17.5 million other territories, making, as you mentioned, over $77 million worldwide.
Wow.
And that's not bad for what's not considered a major studio.
That's correct.
It finished third behind Sinners and a Minecraft movie. Think about that.
Yeah, true.
So, if you've seen the King of Kings 2025 film, let us know what you think in the comments. Is it something that you will probably watch every year? Were you surprised to learn about Charles Dickens writing this type of book?
Right.
And it being released after his death? And is this something that you would be happy to share with friends and family?
Right.
Tell us what you think. If you haven't seen it, it's available to get from your local library, to see on angelstudios.com if you have a membership, or to buy through Amazon. Give it a watch, come back and tell us what you think.
Right. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly reviews for anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today, subscribing, sharing our videos. You know you're important to us. As always, you are special.
Thank you so much for watching Mask Entertainment.
And Amon Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Hit her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket.